The Thames, the river that runs through the metropolitan city of London, can be an unexpected source for items of historical significance, and yet the river's condition allows the preservation of archaeological material, with a number of impressive metal finds over the years capturing the city's history that has been lost in time. Twice a day, the river's low tide reveals centuries of London's history and objects and fragments poking out of the foreshore. This is when mudlarkers come in, scanning the surface for artifacts like pieces to a never-ending puzzle. Some mudlarks even use metal detectors to better identify metallic objects. Over the years, there have been many finds, including various keys, badges, coins, and figures, which are considerably more mundane and yet almost equally interesting as Bronze Age swords and Iron Age helmets, which have also been found in the Thames. But the question remains, how well do metals survive in the river? First and foremost, it is important to understand the general process of metal production. The term metal production refers to all of the processes involved in the conversion of raw materials, such as metallic ore, to a final form in which the metal can be used on a household level, commercially, or for industrial purposes. In some instances, metals such as native gold and silver can occur naturally in the metallic state. However, most metals require a longer and much more complex technological sequence, beginning with the prospection and mining of ores. The smelting process is a chemical and physical reaction in which the metal oxides or sulfurs found in the collected ores are heated in a furnace in a reducing condition, allowing the reaction with carbon monoxide from the burning fuel to reduce it to molten metal, which can be used in a number of ways. We must also consider the survivability of metallic objects in the archaeological record. Artifacts are affected by air, humidity, water exposure, light, heat, and other environmental conditions. The extent of metal corrosion is dependent on many different and often interrelated factors, such as the metal's composition, in addition to its surrounding conditions. So how well do metals survive in the Thames? When a metal such as iron is placed in water in the presence of atmospheric oxygen, corrosion occurs, forming the typical red rust deposits. The rate of corrosion is correlated with the ionic conductivity of the liquid it is in, which is why metals often corrode faster in seawater compared to the lower conductivity of freshwater. The Thames water upstream of Chelsea is freshwater, and it becomes increasingly brackish until it's eventually a marine environment closer to the mouth. So the different deposition locations can have effects on various metals. Other site conditions which can influence the rate and mechanism of corrosion includes the level of dissolved oxygen, the pH, and the temperature of the water. Physical processes can also influence the condition that metallic objects can be found in, with marine growth and concretion being a significant concern in marine environments. The Thames mud is tidal, and so the physical effects of water movements can also impact the conditions of the object, especially if it is already in a weakened state due to the chemical reactions. So how do metallic objects survive in the Thames? The anaerobic properties of the Thames mud means that much of its treasures are protected in the oxygen-free environment until it is eventually churned up by the river's tides, thus creating an environment which allows preservation of metals as well as many organic materials, including leathers and wood. While my own expeditions down to the Thames foreshore have been less than fruitful, finding only a fragment of a chain and miscellaneous bone fragments, other mudlarkers have had much more success than I have. Mudlarking has become increasingly popular, and thanks to social media, more people are sharing their finds, including small household items such as Victorian thimbles and needles, as well as a sword which was recently found. At the end of 2021, this potentially 16th century sword was found on the foreshore, with a wooden handle inlaid with copper alloy wire. The blade is incomplete, and as shown in the pictures, has significant amount of marine growth. However, most artifacts can be removed from the concretion without much difficulty, either through mechanical or chemical processes, although this depends on the level of corrosion overall. Other commonly found items include pilgrim badges. While they are often cheaply made from pewter, an alloy consisting of mostly tin, they were brought by pilgrims as mementos at various destinations, making them objects which held immense significance for their original owners. Other common finds includes clothing and shoe accessories, with this gentleman's shoe buckle dating to approximately the 17th century. This is an early 18th century shoe pattern, a protective overshoe which would have been worn over normal shoes, designed to be worn outdoors to protect the dresses and regular shoes from mud and grime. Overall, it is evident that the conditions of the Thames allows the good preservation of archaeological artifacts, and the tidal churning of the riverbed makes mudlarking an exciting day out.